Shalom Israel. This is Yuda Yasharel and Marina Yasharel.
Shalom.
Shalom everybody. All praises to the Most High. Today we're going to talk about this fear going around. There's teachers out there talking about all of this things going on between Russia and Ukraine and China, that it's all fake. And they're talking about it's all staged. It's just like a movie. But I tell you something. I'm going to prove that it is not fake. They are not actors. They are doing what they were called to do, and the Scripture proves it all. So this is the reason I always tell my people, be careful who you listen to. Half of them don't know what they're talking about, and the other half is still trying to figure it out. And that doesn't mean that we have all the answers. But the Most High shows us things, and when He does, we bring it to you. We don't do videos every day. The Most High does not give us something to give you every day. When He gives it to us, we give it to you. So we don't do it like that. And we don't put on show. We don't try to entertain you. We just try to give you this word that can save you. Now, the title to this lesson today is, Why Should Israel Fear? The stuff that's going on right now, you got no reason to be fearful. If you're in fear, then you must be doing something wrong, because that is a sin in itself. Fear. Fear is a sin all within itself. We were told not to fear. And I see people all focused on what's happening with Russia and the Ukraine, and how is China involved. Where should your focus be? Remember when the children of Israel was in Egypt on the Passover, and the Mossad told Moses to tell everybody to put the blood on the doorpost and stay inside. He was telling them, don't focus on what's going on out here. You go inside and you chill. I'm going to handle some business out here. Stay inside. Basically, he's telling them, don't focus on the things you cannot change. Focus on the things you can change. Like if you're heading down the wrong path, thinking you're seeking your salvation, you can change that. You can learn the truth and get on the right path. That's something you can change. So why are our people focused on something that they cannot change? You can't change. Even one single person or a whole group of people cannot change what's happening with these nations right now. The Most High called this a long time ago. Now it's coming to pass. And we're going to prove it starting with Isaiah. So we go to Isaiah chapter 41, out of the Septuagint, verse 1. Hold a feast to me, ye islands, for the princes shall renew their strength. Let them draw nigh and speak together. Then let them declare judgment. Would you like to say anything, Dave?
No.
No? All right. Verse 2. Who raised up righteousness from the east and called it to his feet, so that it should go, shall appoint it an adversary of Gentiles, and shall dismay kings, and bury their swords in the earth, and cast forth their bows and arrows as sticks.
Okay, there's a lot involved in the scripture number 2. Who raised up righteousness from the east and called it to his feet, so that it should go. Talking about the Exodus, talking about Israel. He got them on their feet, and they went. Now the next part of the scripture, shall appoint an adversary of Gentiles and shall dismay kings. All of that is the journey on their way into the wilderness. They were going to destroy uh, kingdoms that were in their way.
Yeah.
So he was telling them, I'm going to prepare the way, and you will be burying their swords in the earth.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
So hopefully we can help you understand how this very chapter and book is precisely at this very moment. So now verse 3, and he shall pursue them, the way of his feet shall proceed in peace. Who has wrought and done these things? He has called it, who called it from the generations of old. I, God, the Most High, the first, and to all futurity, I am.
Yeah, he brought all of that by God only.
Yeah.
No one else.
Nobody had nothing to do with that. That was all the Most High. He's doing it right now. He swore to bring these nations against each other. Why is Israel in fear? They're not fighting against you, but if you're in one of those countries that they will eventually invade, and yes, it will turn into a war with the U.S. Trust me on that. It's going to happen. If you're in that country, then whatever laws they impose on that country under their rulership, it's going to include you. And you probably will not be the favorite of the group of people in that country. We never are. We're always at the bottom. So don't expect to be treated with favoritism. Verse 5, the nations saw and feared, the ends of the earth drew nigh and came together, everyone judging for his neighbor, and that to assist his brother. And one will say, the artificer has become strong. Now, we looked that word up, artificer, just a few moments ago. Let me see if I can find it. Well, if I do, I might lose my my audible.
Artist,
Yeah, it's a person that creates, and he can create weapons or patents, inventions, things of that nature. So the artificer has become strong. And the coppersmith, there's a clue right there, that smites with the hammer and forges also. Sometimes he will say, it is a piece well joined. He's crediting himself. Go ahead.
And these, of course, are the nations that saw and feared. So they made these, they prepared all of these weaponry for to go against Israel when they were coming out on their journey and clearing their way to the promised land. So they heard about it and they feared it, and they were judging their neighbors and telling them, you gotta do it this way, you gotta help us and join in with us like all other nations that come against Israel.
Exactly.
They come together and help each other. That's what that means, that to assist his brother into fighting against Israel.
Right.
So they were preparing
and
to go against Israel.
Exactly. So sometimes he will say, it is a piece well joined. They have fastened them with nails. They will fix them, and they shall not be moved. Verse 8, but thou, Israel, art my servant Jacob. Now this is where it starts to get interesting, y'all, so pay attention. And he whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, whom I have loved, whom I have taken hold of from the ends of the earth, and from the high places of it, I have called thee, and said to thee, thou art my servant. I have chosen thee, and I have not forsaken thee. Now, right here, I want y'all to understand something. This is where it begins. This is where the Most High begins after, and this is not the only time, there's so many places in the book where he has told us, don't worry, you trust me, I've got you. So here we are right now with him saying, I have not forsaken thee. So don't fear, trust him. If you focus on scary things, it's going to scare you. So stop looking at things you can't change and pay attention to the things you can change. So, verse 10, fear not, for I am with thee. Here we go again. He's telling you, quit fearing. You know fear is a sin. Fear not, if you trust me, and he's proved his capabilities all through the generations. Everything he said he would do, he did. Everything he said he wouldn't do, he didn't. So he's proved himself. And here we are today, all these generations later, still questioning his capabilities. We need to stop that. You need to stop paying attention to these jack dog leg preachers and teachers that don't know what they're talking about. Fear not, for I am with thee. Wonder not, for I am thy God, who have strengthened thee, and I have helped thee, and have established thee with my just right hand. Behold, all thine adversaries, listen to this, behold, all thine adversaries shall be ashamed and confounded, for they shall be as if they were not. What does that mean? Listen, for they shall be as if they were not. They are not going to amount to a hill of beans. So this is why you don't need to focus on that. It don't matter. What matters is where do you focus your attention. If it's on the Most High, then you've got nothing to fear. And all thine opponents, listen, all thine opponents shall perish. That's the Most High talking, y'all. Verse 12. Thou shalt seek them, and thou shalt not find the men who shall insolently rage against thee. For they shall be as if they were not. He's telling you a second time. Don't worry about these infidels. They can't do nothing because I have this. They can't take me down. And they that war against thee shall not be.
This is also how the Most High works when it comes to Israel getting ready to take over a city. He always tells them, I'm going to go ahead of you. I'm going to go before you. I'm going to take care of business. So when you come in, all you got to do is wonder.
Yeah.
Clean up.
Let me tell you what happened when they went in to take Canaan. They went in there first, the spies went in, and they saw these giants, and they ran out because they were scared. And the Most High has already told them, look, I've already went ahead. All y'all got to do is just show up. Just for Israel showing up. The fear that the Most High had already put into those giants was so intense that when they saw Israel, they started to get confused and they killed each other. So don't be in fear. So what were we, 13? Verse 13. For I am thy God, who holdeth thy right hand, who saith to thee. We shaking hands. We know y'all can't see. We shaking hands. I am thy God, who holdeth thy right hand, who saith to thee, fear not. I got to highlight that because I know I've said it 10 times already. Just so y'all know, fear not. Stop looking at Russia, China, and all the other stupendous nations. It don't matter. What matters, where's your faith? Where's your obedience? Where's your allegiance? Fear not, Jacob, and thou Israel, few in number. I have helped thee. What did he say? I have helped thee, saith the Most High, he that redeems thee, O Israel. This is why I say we don't have nothing to fear, y'all. Verse 15, behold, I have made thee as new saw shaped, threshing wheels of a wagon, and thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat the hills to powder and make them as chaff. That's a powerful statement. That's a powerful statement for Israel. That's because they are not in fear. Verse 16, and thou shalt winnow them, and the wind shall carry them away, and a tempest shall scatter them. But thou shalt rejoice in the holy ones of Israel. Verse 17, and the poor and the needy shall exult. For when they shall seek water, and there shall be none, and their tongue is parched with thirst, I, the Lord, the Most High, I, the God of Israel, will hear and will not forsake them. While the Most High is out there destroying these nations, and while Israel is taking their part, they're doing their part, out in this hot, parched desert, yes, they're going to get thirsty, they're going to get hungry, but what did the Most High just say? Hey, don't worry about that. You get thirsty, I'll make sure you got water. You get hungry, I'll make sure you eat. You just keep focusing on what I put before you. Do what I tell you to do. Stop fearing, people. There is nothing to fear. And let me tell you something else. We've been knowing that this was coming for the longest time. We knew this is not news. Listen, this thing that's happening right now is our clue that we're about to get pulled up out of here. We should be jumping for joy instead of cowering behind the beds and couches, worrying about who's going to fire what missile and what bomb. We shouldn't even be thinking about that. We should be thinking about the Most High's promise to us. He says that I'm going to deliver my people. So we don't have no fear. We should not have any fear. He says, but I will open rivers on the mountains and fountains in the midst of plains. I will make the desert pools of water. You will not go thirsty. And of thirsty land watercourses. You will not go thirsty. I will plant in the dry land the cedar and box, the myrtle and cypress, and the white poplar. You're going to have plenty of water and plenty of food to eat. You are not going to have to worry about all that stuff. This is all telling you there is no reason to fear. Look at all the protection you got. Look at who's providing this protection. Look at who's protecting you. Verse 20, that they may see and know and perceive and understand together that the hand of the Most High has wrought these works. The Most High did this. And we're going to get down to some interesting things here. And the Holy One of Israel has displayed them, meaning they have done what they were told to do. 21, your judgment draws near, saith the Most High. Your counsel have drawn nigh, saith the King of Jacob. Let them draw nigh and declare to you what things shall come to pass. Let them draw near and declare to you what things shall come to pass. Or tell us what things were of old. Do y'all know what's going on right here? He's asking these nations, can you tell me what's going to happen in the future? Can you tell me what will happen 100 years from now, or even a week from now, or even 24 hours from now? No, you can't. Can you tell us what things were of old? No, they can't. And it says, and we will apply our understanding, and we shall know what are the last and the future things. These idiots. Verse 23 tells us, tell us. He's talking to these stupid nations. Tell us, declare ye to us the things that are coming on that last time, that last day. Can you tell us what's going to happen? And we shall know that ye are gods. If you can do this, then we'll believe you gods. Do good and do evil, and we shall wonder and see at the same time. In other words, if you can't prove this, we know you're fake. Now, y'all talk about fake. That's what's going to be proven to be fake. They can't tell the future. They can't tell the past. Even though most of us have lived through a past in our lives, half of you can't remember what you lived through in your past. Verse 24, whence ye are and whence is your works? They have chosen you, an abomination out of the earth. That's directed to the other nations. They are the abomination. But I have raised up him that comes from the north. Okay, y'all, focus, focus, focus. I have raised up him that comes from the north. Who's in the north? Russia. And him that comes from the rising of the sun. Which way does the sun rise? The east, Asia, China. Is that ringing a bell? This is about right now. This is what the Mossad said he would do.
And China has the sun on their flag.
Yes. So he's telling you right now, I am going to raise up him in the north and the one in the rising of the sun, in the east. So who are the two main people, nations rather, that are targeting other countries? Russia and China. Russia claims to want Ukraine, and it ain't going to stop there. And China wants Taiwan. Okay? So there's your north, and there is the rising of the sun. They shall be called by my name. They shall be called by my name. In other words, no other God could have called this to be. This didn't just happen. I, the Most High, called them to battle against one another. Didn't he tell us that he was going to cause them to destroy themselves among themselves? Yes, he did. And isn't that what's happening right now? Why are you not jumping for joy? Why are you cowering and fearing?
The Most High don't change.
He don't change. They shall be called by my name. I'm the one that called them up. I'll raise them up. Let the princes come as potter's clay, and as a potter treading clay, so shall ye be trodden down. I'm going to destroy you. 26. For who will declare the things from the beginning, that we may know also the former things? And we will say that they are true. There is no one that speaks beforehand, nor anyone that hears your words. I will give dominion over Zion. I will give dominion to Zion, and will comfort Jerusalem, by the way.
Let me go back to 26.
Okay.
But I got the media in 26. These are the people that are broadcasting and telling these fearmongers.
Fearmongers. They're instilling fear in the people.
So in there it says, and we will say that they are true if these things that they're broadcasting is what they're claiming. It says, there is no one that speaks beforehand, and anyone, nor anyone that hears your words. So you cannot take their word for it because they don't know.
They don't know. They don't, and they can't know. The Mossad did not give the nations the spirit that he gave Israel. They can't see what Israel sees. And I'm not talking all Israel. I'm talking about the ones who are in obedience. If you are in obedience, you are chosen. If you're keeping Friday, Saturday, sundown, and Saturday, sundown, you're disobedient. And I'm not going to get involved in that, but man, it is what it is. There is one Sabbath, and it is created based on the showing of the new moon. I will give dominion to Zion and will comfort Jerusalem, by the way. For from among the nations, behold, there was no one, and of their idols there was none to declare anything. And if I should ask them, whence are ye? They could not answer me.
So what he's saying is, there among the nations there is no God for them.
None.
And their idols know nothing. So if you ask them, oh, then where are you? They can't even answer.
They can't answer. They can't even dust the dust off their little statues. The idols, the things they worship, they can't eat, they can't sleep, they can't see, they can't smell, taste, take a bath. They can't do nothing. But yet they want to ask these idols to protect them. And the Mossad says they can't even answer.
Yeah. And he's saying that their idols are their gods.
They are their
so
gods.
The next scripture tells you right there.
Verse 29, which is the last verse. For these are your makers. For these are your makers, as ye think. Y'all gotta get this. Y'all gotta get this. And they that cause you to error in vain. The Mossad ain't playing no games with these people. So don't get scared because Russia invades Ukraine. They're going to eventually come to the U.S. Trust me on that. Why would they stop? Huh? They have a large nuclear artillery. So does China. China has the largest military on the planet. And don't forget, North Korea, you haven't heard anything about them yet, but watch, you will, because they're also one of Russia's and China's allies. So he's putting the hook in their mouth, like he said he would. Put the hook in your jaw. He's going to pull y'all into the fight. They're going to fight. But this has nothing to do with you who is obedient to the word. Now is the time you need to be listening to people that teach you how to gather yourselves and get into the salvation. You don't need to be hearing about somebody's pet, somebody's house, all this crap. You don't need that. What you need right now is, how do I get past this? How do I get rescued? And the Mossad is telling you right here in Isaiah, this prophecy goes way back. But guess what? When I showed you this right here, verse 25, but I have raised up him that comes from the north, that's Russia, and him that comes from the rising sun, the sun rises in the east, that's China. These are your two major players right now. So, hey, all praise to the Most High. Glad we had this few minutes together. And Yasharel says, Shalom.
Shalom.